recent, two consultants asked me a question. What is it like to have an orgasm? They weren't quite sure if they had ever had this experience. I yearn for the feeling described in the novel, but it seems that I feel differently. It just so happened that our team was working on a new climax course. Research is being carried out on this topic. At the same time, I am also leading the 5th climax training camp. So take this opportunity, make a video to share how women feel about orgasms. As a matter of fact, what it's like to have an orgasm in a woman. Not an easy question to answer. 100 women may have 100 different descriptions. For example, some say that there is an overcharged sensation when the climax comes. Some will say that at that moment it felt as if it was about to die. There is a pleasurable sense of loss of control. Some people will say it's like riding a roller coaster. Others say they feel like they're going to fly. Others said that the whole person felt blank. Even I feel like I'm going crazy. And in the moment of the climax, the outward appearance of people is also different. Some people don't have a special expression. Others have their faces huddled. It may seem like it is painful. Some people will shout. Some people will convulse, cry, draw, laugh, straighten their bodies, talk nonsense, and so on. These are the above descriptions. It's what I extracted from the feedback I collected. How do you feel after hearing this? Still feeling uncertain? Indeed, because human feelings are very subjective, and it's hard to describe and contrast. So it's hard to know if we've had an orgasm by listening to a person's description. But here's what's interesting. People who have had an orgasm are basically convinced, because although the feelings are difficult to compare with others, but you can compare it with your previous experience. Women who have experienced orgasms can feel it very clearly. That momentary experience of a few seconds or a dozen seconds is very different from the previous pleasure experience. In the process, most people may experience involuntary, rhythmic muscle contractions in the pelvic area. There may be a temporary loss of consciousness. Movements, expressions, and screams are out of control. Experience intense sexual pleasure. Generally speaking, many women experience 3 distinct feelings at different stages of orgasm. We describe it here for your reference. They are the sense of suspension, the sense of crest, and the sense of completion. Let's take a closer look. A lot of women are on the verge of orgasm. Will be in a state of concentration and accumulation of tension. They often hold their breath and don't make a sound. The body is tense and the pleasure climbs all the way, silently waiting for the moment when the door to orgasm is slammed. At this stage, you will have a feeling of knowing that you can reach orgasm by continuing on. At this point, you are at the tipping point of orgasm, but it has not yet reached its climax. And once the tipping point is broken and the climax is reached, you have a kind of yes. That's it. You may feel lighter. It seems that the whole person is suspended in the air. Then I was hit by a burst of ups and downs of pleasure. This is known as the sense of suspension and the sense of crest. It's a thrilling experience of bouncing impacts, accompanied by clitoris and vagina, and rhythmic twitching of the entire pelvic floor and abdominal muscles. This experience of ups and downs can be wave after wave and endless, or maybe it's just a peak, then slowly fall back down until it comes down. A sense of suspension and crest is often mixed. It is difficult to distinguish between priorities. In the later stages of the climax, you can often feel a sense of closure. I could feel the intensity of the impact and the boiling of my body coming down. There may also be intermittent ticks in the body, or want to make some snorts, but you can know more clearly. What I just experienced was the feeling of orgasm. This time the climax is over. All of the above are common feelings for orgasms. It can be used as a part of the reference for evaluating yourself. In addition, it is not uncommon to have an orgasm without pleasure. There may not be a strong sense of suspension and crests. It's like a firework canister. The lid burned brilliantly for a long time. What came out was a squeak. You clearly feel the difference in this moment. There is a sense of closure, but its real impact is not as good as the previous accumulation part. The feeling is not strong and there will be some loss. Therefore, you may wonder if that was the orgasm. Yes, that's the climax. If you're not quite sure if you had an orgasm, then it's a pity. Most likely, you haven't experienced it yet, because although the experience of the process varies, but the sense of the end of the climax is relatively clear. Maybe you need to find your way, break through that tipping point. Once reached, you may experience a distinct peak experience and a subsequent sense of finish. Of course, others actually experience orgasm. It's just that I haven't experienced the kind of orgasm I want yet. For example, many people can have clitoral orgasms, but what I really want is a vaginal orgasm. However, the proportion of vaginal orgasms is relatively low. A sexology report by United States sexologist Heidi shows less than 30% of United States women orgasm through pure thrusting. So, if you haven't gotten vaginal orgasm yet, or masturbation can be orgasmic, but not when having sex with a partner. This is all common and normal. Everyone's vaginal sensibilities and sex styles and skills with their partners are different. It's not surprising that it didn't happen. It doesn't have to be a disease either, and most of the sex education we receive from childhood is relatively scarce. There is also not much knowledge and perception of the body. It can be said that our body and mind are still in a stage where they are not well explored. No matter what kind of orgasm, everyone has their potential. The body can relearn. Just keep exploring and practicing. There is a possibility of experiencing orgasm. Well, that's all for this video topic. I'm Linda, a sex counselor. Thank you for watching.